Welcome, brothers and sisters, to our campfire. I thought we'd build a campfire and talk about the elements of fire
And all properties of fire.
and all properties of fire. The solar plexus chakra, which is located right above your navel and below the sternum here, right in this area, has the same vibrational energy and is related to the element of fire. So it would go red for the root, orange for the sacral, yellow for the solar plexus. Fire is considered to be the part of the solar plexus element. And again, the chakras aren't exact, right? There's a blending and an interconnection always. So just like fire itself, it's not just orange. There's a lot of yellow and red and white and all colors in fire. So solar plexus, sacral chakra, root chakra, above and below, they're all interconnected.
Well, the reason being to the fire element being associated with courage, willpower, action, desire, passion, that sort of thing. The spark, you could say. Solar plexus obviously has a lot to do with will and ambition, that sort of thing.
The fire within.
Yes. But I could see it also being associated with the root chakra, because the root chakra is about survival and security. It could also
Basic needs.
it could be aggression too. So
Yeah.
warfare could be a mixture of all three of the first chakras, really, with the root and the sacral with emotions, and then the third being ambition and will with the solar plexus. A whole combination. I could see fire influencing all of them.
I just find it fascinating that fire has been fascinating man, humans, since the dawn of time. Ancient humans stared into fire. We've always done it. And it has hypnotic properties. Just by staring into fire and the energy that it emits, it's another way to tune your body and your own vibrations. It has a calming effect.
That's one of the oldest meditation practices, is simply just looking at a candle and just stare at the flame.
Staring at fire, and I assume staring at water, moving water, are the oldest meditations known to mankind.
I mean, what it is you take your focus off of everything else. You're focused on one thing. You clear your mind.
It's stare into the flames, and you can actually enter into a different brainwave pattern, what we call self-hypnosis. And we know that by doing this and spending time around a campfire, or like Nikko said, even just staring at a candle flame will do the same thing, has the same calming effect.
It works even better if it's in a dark room. Nothing in there. It's just blackness with a candle there. So all of your focus can be on that. No distractions.
And if you notice when you go camping, if you've been camping before, as the surrounding environment becomes darker, as the day turns to night, that does block your other senses, so that you are more focused just on the flame. You no longer can see, for example, around you, and it does become more focused. And we know that by doing things like that, you can actually lower your blood pressure, which can lead to all kinds of other health benefits.
We've had the ability of fire and using fire for thousands of years. I'm not even quite sure how long humanity has had the ability of fire. I'm sure it's prehistory. I guarantee it.
Well, yeah, we didn't start writing history down
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying is
so much later.
humanity could have had fire so long that it's not only is it passed through our society, but we've evolved with it.
Yes.
And so, but there's also something to fire. It's energy itself. It's kind of like a physical manifestation of energy right there.
It sure is.
It's not quite a solid, but
No.
it's visible energy.
It's an element, and it is visible energy to the human eye, but there's a whole lot of other energy going on that's not visible to our eyes in the vibrational world, which is true of anything, but fire is especially interesting. And we've had this innate knowledge that it has mystical powers and the powers to heal and to calm your vibrations. We've known this for millennia.
The 4 elements are physical manifestations of energy.
And as the day goes on, temperature is dropping. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and the smoke's in my eyes
And the
too.
smoke's in our eyes. Woo!
I swear that's a theorem. Like, every time there's a fire, the smoke just loves to follow you.
Yep. Smoke follows beauty.
Yeah,
We used to say that
that's
when we were
our-
kids camping.
That's what it is, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure. No, but staring into a dancing flame is very hypnotic, and it's really fun. I enjoy it immensely. And if you have a piece of property and you're allowed to in your area, I highly recommend making a small fire pit. If not, just get a candle. Get a neat looking candle and turn the lights off and stare at the flame a while. The health benefits are really worth it. Plus, it's really groovy. For sure. Who isn't attracted to flames?
I think every, at least mammal is. I don't know about other animals.
I mean, you build a fire to keep animals away. Like,
I'm not quite sure how the plant kingdom thinks of fire.
I'm sure it horrifies them.
It might. At the same time, maybe they respect it. I don't know.
It is part of the circle of life.
Well, yes.
When forests burn, it allows the way for new life to take hold and take seed.
Sometimes it just is actually better for the forest if there is a lightning storm or something. And
The carbon from the ash is actually
Yes.
good for the soil. It's very rejuvenating and renews the forest floor. So you feel bad when we have a forest fire, especially if it's, not natural and it was caused by man. That's not good.
Well,
But natural forest fires are actually good.
because in this area, during the summer, you're not going to really see lightning very much. There's not as much, I don't know exactly what it takes to generate lightning, but in this area,
It's electrostatic in the air and then the heat rising, and it's a perfect cocktail of a situation.
it doesn't happen during the the summer around here. Usually that's more in the fall and in
Yeah,
the
what
spring.
usually happens is we have a bad heat wave, and it's so hot and dry, and then somebody flicks a cigarette out the window or something, and that starts the forest fire.
Yes, it's the unnatural forest fires are the ones that can be bad.
Devastating and get out of control, and yeah.
Because if a forest fire happens during the winter or the fall, it will naturally put itself out way quicker than it would during the summer, especially if there's been a drought and everything's dry.
And we've had a lot of droughts lately. here in the Pacific Northwest. We've had a lot of dry weather, although our water tables are good this year, so
Because
we had some good snow.
I could see that if there was a forest fire happening and it started just pouring down rain, the fire might not go away, but it would stop it from spreading.
I feel like I need this stirred for more heat. I'm cold. Would you do the honors?
Well, I gotta fan it more than anything.
Gentle. I don't want ashes all over me.
I'll blow it this way.
Woo. Right into you guys in the camera. How's that?
Yeah.
I haven't been camping in a long time. When I was a kid, we went camping almost every single weekend, and sometimes we'd hang out for a couple weeks at the campsite. And no kidding, we camped so much as a kid, I kind of got tired of it and went a long stretch of my life where I didn't go camping. And now I'm kind of longing for it again. I'd like to go again. Part of that was I wasn't doing well. I was very ill. I was sick and starting to become, handicapped and disabled. I couldn't move around, and who wants to go camping when your body hurts and you can barely walk, right? Well, ever since I started taking better care of myself, and I was able to meditate and get rid of a lot of my arthritis, my rheumatoid arthritis and my other osteoarthritis issues. Heck, I'm ready to go camping again now. I can do a little bit of hiking now. I can go ahead and get up and down out of a tent now. I thought those days were over. I'm excited to go. We should take our tripod and go, Nikko. We should talk Michael into it. He's got the Jeep. He can take us four-wheeling, and we can use your car for cargo.
I think the last time I went camping was about a year ago.
I don't know if you're in the shot.
Whatever. I'm still fanning this, kind of. You said you wanted it hot.
I do. My hands are cold.
Just move the chair closer.
Move the chair closer, he says. Oh, that's a little better. Yeah. It can be a lot of fun to have a campfire.
It's definitely a classic experience.
It's a classic experience. We try to be real responsible and burn diseased wood and wood that was no good anyway. Like, we don't chop down trees. So, but there's so much of it around here. Our neighbors, everybody shares the wood. We've got a lot of wood on our forest floors just right behind us here. It's easy to gather a whole bunch of wood off the forest floor.
Mm-hmm. Well, people also just give wood too.
And yeah, like I say, the neighbors around here are always swapping wood. There's still a few neighbors who use wood solely as their heat for their home. But not everybody. I think most people now have switched over to electric heat or propane in the area where we live here. But yeah, there's still a lot of wood stoves in the area, which kind of controversial about that,
I like being back out in this sort of environment. I lived in more of a...
You want to take care of the environment.
Well, it wasn't city, but I lived in more of a closer to city, way more populated area. And it wasn't total concrete jungle or anything, but there wasn't as much trees around as it was around here. And I like the forest better.
Yeah, I grew up in eastern Washington where it's all desert. And so when I moved to western Washington, where it's all forested, it was a whole different, almost a culture shock. I wasn't used to that. And now I just absolutely love it. I love the trees. I love the greenery. I'm not a desert rat anymore. That's what we used to call ourselves.
I never
desert
was.
rats.
I personally don't care for the desert at all.
I love the desert. It's just a whole nother way of life. We used to dig tunnels underground as kids, and you know, we would play with the horned toads.
I never lived in the desert though, so
we'd find little scorpions, and I don't know. It's a whole nother way to grow up as a kid in the desert, compared to the forest.
mm-hmm.
But we still managed to go camping and have campfires. I don't know how my dad got firewood. That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Maybe
because
he
we were
bought
so
it.
young. Yeah, he must have bought it. It's not like we had trees right there like we do here, where you can just go anywhere and get a pile of firewood. Over there, yeah, you must have to go to a store and get a bundle of firewood or something at a hardware store or something. I
No
don't know.
idea. I know.
Presto
Never
logs
even
or
met him,
something
so I don't know.
silly. I was so young, I don't remember now what we used for firewood. I think a lot of times we would just walk around and pick up scrap from the brush too over there, because there is like cottonwood and other kind of sagebrush and other stuff over there. It's not the greatest for.
I feel like it would be easy to make a fire in the desert.
Oh yeah, if you have the material, the wood. So yeah, my dad would always bring a pickup full of wood. We'd have to bring our own because you couldn't scrounge around for it like you can here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, always you end the day staring into the campfire, staring into that flame.
I'm doing it now.
We're doing it now. After a long day of playing all day long, whether it was water skiing, that's what we did, or just exploring, or building forts. At the end of the day, you're so tired that we'd all just gather around the campfire, plop our butts down in a chair, in a lawn chair, or sometimes just on the ground, and everybody would get real quiet. Sometimes we'd have a stick in our hand with a marshmallow. But you get real quiet and you just stare at the flames.
You know, I liked marshmallows when I was a kid, but I cannot stand them anymore. Like, I can eat maybe one marshmallow, and I'm like, I don't know. They don't taste very good at all.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. They're certainly not good for you. I do not recommend eating marshmallows.
I mean,
Once in a while as a treat, it's
I guess
all
do
right.
what you want. I don't recommend it, but
Meh.
it's just funny. 'Cause yeah, when I went camping and stuff when I was a kid, I remember I could eat like 6, 7 s'mores just back to back, and now I eat like one bite of a s'more, and I'm just kind of like, I'm good.
Yeah. Too sweet for me. So yeah, staring into a flame, highly recommend it. It's got a lot of health benefits. It's extremely hypnotic. And if you don't have a fire pit or you don't have a fireplace, you can just stare into a candle, like I say, and it's really has a lot of health benefits. Highly recommend it. And not only that, it's a lot of fun. And you know what else, right? Groovy.